I forgot I had to switch over.
I know.
Yeah, boys. Okay, so off to a little bit of a start. So usually we have Adam around who's here to control all this shit. So it might be a little bit different, but we're gonna. No. Like I forgot I even had to switch the screen off of the title, but it doesn't matter. Cowboys CanFan is here. We are minus Bandwagon Boy 1. He is still on vacation. So that's 2 back-to-back things that he's 000 for.
Yeah, he goes 79 episodes straight, or 78 episodes straight, plus all of the live streams, and then he drops 2 deuces in
back in a row. Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
So if you're looking for, if you got him, if you're looking anything Cowboys CanFan, it's at Cowboys CanFan on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You're here on the YouTube, so I'm not going to give that one out. We have them all. Cowboys football is back, and we are rolling hard.
Now, we are going to be double. So if you're listening, you're like, okay, what the heck? There's no difference. I'm just hearing two of the sexiest voices. Because that's why you come to CanFan. But if you're watching, Ant's going to be doing BWB1 and hosting while I'm just sitting comfortably in my regular role. So, we're going to have a lot of fun with it. We're out here. This is our preseason, baby.
It is.
And what we're practicing for, just like every other NFL team out there, is we're practicing for when Adam goes down with that leg injury.
When he breaks his hands. I don't know how they're going to break, and I hope they don't happen.
Both hands are broken.
I enjoy just sitting on that couch and just like arguing and yelling and drinking. But I gotta have my head on a little bit of a swivel. But Cowboys stuff. So this week, the Cowboys have been holding joint practices with the Los Angeles Chargers. And it's kind of funny because as long as I've been a Cowboys fan, I don't ever really remember them doing these joint practices. Like last year they did. They went with LA Rams, but prior to that, I don't remember them ever doing this. And now this year, last week they were practicing against the Denver Broncos.
It is kind of funny that the joint practices are like, okay, I get it. It's actually preferred, I think, a little bit. If you can do it in a way where you get your players basically doing mock kind of football, but at a more physical level than you would probably get on an average practice. Obviously, like they're physical, it's football out there, but this is a place where you can actually start maybe pushing to game speed on 1 or 2 plays, right?
And sizing yourself up against competition. So the main thing is like you're in training camp for these 2 weeks against your own guys, and all you want to do is start smashing the shit out of everybody else. So it's kind of nice that they get to size themselves up against different teams. But I've noticed, and it hasn't happened in Cowboys practices, because I think they've pretty much been told by their head coaches that there's going to be no fighting. Like, we're not going to tolerate any of the bullshit. Yeah. But you see around the league, like some of these practices may as well be fucking Monday Night Raw. It's like someone gets pushed, and it's instantly a brawl or a big scrum.
Well, I think a lot of it, too, is also, like, getting yourself... I've never been able to really get myself into, like, a fight mode, I've never really had a fight in my life. Like, little kid shit, right? But what I mean to say is, even with lacrosse, like, I'm not a... But I would... You ramp up to a to game mentality, right? Where you're a little bit more meaner, a little bit rougher, and obviously that's all the physical. There's a mental part to it too. Getting in there and like you just said, sizing yourself up. Either you get your head taken off and you're like, shit. Does that refocus you or like bring out the best in you, or do you smash a dude and be like, fuck yeah?
But one thing I saw about the fights today at practice, Terrence Steele actually got punched by one of the LA Chargers players, and he just stood there and didn't do anything back. In your opinion, is that a good or a bad thing? Like, is it good to have that composure, or is it bad that he didn't stick up for himself?
I'd have to see it, and I'll look for it.
I haven't. I don't even know if you can find a footage of it.
Okay.
Find footage of it. I just read it on one of the guys' Twitters that's at camp.
What I would say is I don't like. It's kind of a role thing too. So if I like my quarterback, no, my linemen probably want him to be pretty aggressive. And like would I don't know if I don't like to see him not retaliate, but
it
really depends.
I think I would have liked to see him retaliate.
Oh, no, that's what I mean. Like, I would have liked to see him get angry. But, if I'm in the locker room with him and I know his actual mentality, then maybe that's just kind of a thing where he gets slapped and then doesn't do, and it maybe that's the bigger impact. But right?
I kind of like it because last preseason game, we were penalized 17 times.
Yes, for 129 yards.
And you know that the guy that throws the first punch rarely ever gets caught. It's the dude that gets punched and then retaliates, right? So I'm sitting here saying, I wish he would have retaliated, but it's like in a game situation, if he got punched and then did something back and got a 15-yard penalty in a crucial moment, I'd also be swearing at the TV, right?
Sure. So like you take it with, I mean, what you ideally want is a guy who is perfect and never makes mistakes on field, but then like in that joint practice can shove a fucking the end of a broom handle through one of the players' tires, and like that meme.
So we're gonna take a look at Twitter. Obviously, I think Twitter is probably the best place to look for Cowboys practice highlights.
We just get the
shit.
It's a little loud. Let me bring that down.
Ooh, what was that even?
We do want some volume.
Some LVE.
Like, where did this come from? I mean, I think what happened is just a quick Cowboys folklore. We've been riding on the nuts of Schultz all season. Had one little bad thing to say about him. He blocked us, so now we're a little bit butthurt about that. So our wagon's open.
Yeah,
right?
We're trying to get back in the good books of LVE.
Yeah,
and this is a great
we're liking
way.
What we're seeing.
This is a great way for him to win our hearts back. And I like to see that this was actually on the first play of the 2-minute drill in the practice portion of the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, we're just watching. A quick clip here on Twitter. It's just
Justin Herbert dropping back, throwing it. LVE out in the flat, fucking gets all Dutch and lanky and
Dutch. No one's around him, but he goes down. I like that mentality.
You don't like that he didn't try to run it back?
I mean, I would have, but maybe they were like, who they said, oh, this is the last 30 seconds or something. Like, how they set up a situation for the drill. I hope he's not just dropping down, being like, boys, got to get the offense out on the field ASAP.
I want to see him turn into Zeke Elliott and start fucking shouldering, hit sticking some people. Well, to be honest,
that's the other big clip, and I'm just gonna scroll and find that while I'm talking here. But that's the other big clip that's kind of been talked about. I don't think that was like last practice, right?
Yesterday. It was yesterday. Zeke basically came out, got a handoff, hit the hole, and he basically just greases through two dudes. First guy he hits, helmet goes flying off. Second guy tries to stand him up. Zeke just keeps bowling through with his legs. I love it.
This is from Dallas Cowboys collaboration. So shout out. This is a different angle actually than I saw.
Run that shit back. Is this it right here?
Yeah.
Let's see some Zeke. So the listeners, you got to get on the YouTube because right here. Boom. So 3 guys actually. Zeke drops his shoulder, hits that first bitch. That bitch's helmet pops up. Then he keeps running. 2 other guys come to square up and take him down, and Zeke goes, nah, not on my watch. Watch this. Okay. Takes the ball, squares up. Boom, baby, big pop. Sees 2 more guys. Boom, baby, big pops.
This is what I like about it. The haters are going to argue, hey, it's practice, it's this and that. And it's like, yeah, I acknowledge that. That's all true. Like, those guys are not going to be running to take Zeke's head off. And he definitely ran, like, instigated that.
And yeah, for sure. He's looking for contact.
But that's great. He needs to come in hungry. There's a lot of doubters out there. He's hitting that running back age where it's like either you've plateaued and now you're going to start to come down, or this is like the last year of kind of being personal level of eliteness, right?
But we keep it
historically.
We keep it on both sides of the ball here. We need to look at, and if you could pull it up, AJ, Zeke getting hit in the Denver Broncos practice by Bradley Chubb. So I think this kind of plays into why Zeke's running as hard as he is now, because last week against the Denver Broncos, he
is this it?
Toss back to Zeke.
He
took a hit from Bradley.
Well, this is cool. I didn't know that they actually had commentary out there.
Toss back to Zeke.
Like that's so. I think,
and he didn't even crank him as hard as he could, Chubb.
But I think that's maybe why you see Zeke running how hard he's running now, because it's practice, but these guys have egos. Do you think Zeke knows that this blew up on Twitter?
No, absolutely. I'm saying it goes both ways. Like, maybe Zeke wasn't running full hard. Like, we're in the practice zone, so the expectation, I mean, in this, I'm sure the expectation is you guys practice hard and practice 100%, but there's all those little things that, I mean, look, I can't even wrap my head around understanding. Let me just pause this fucking.
Yeah, let's get the first one of the night.
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
son. And if anyone's out there, if you're cracking them, make sure you hit that thumbs up. It brings more Cowboys fans into the chat. That's the main thing we want. We haven't even been looking at chat. This is one of this is one of the issues of not having Bandwagon Boy 1 here. I haven't even looked at the chat.
Pull up the chat thing. I'll just finish my point.
I don't even know how to do it.
It's that go into the bottom, the green.
This guy
icon,
right here?
The green icon?
Yeah, oh, okay, here we go.
But
okay, there's the chat,
my what the fuck? I forget my point. Let's just roll into some.
So we got
whammy.
We got Kilo C in the house. What's up, Kilo?
Oh, sorry about that. Whammy.
Hey, and I'm gonna get a little vape up in me.
Yeah, get a vape up in you. And then we also got look at this here. We got Bandwagon Boy 1 cracking him if you got him. I love it. This is actually Ultra Cowboy saying Bradley Chubb, Chris Brown, Zeke. Ooh,
hey,
that is risque.
You mean he danced and made Zeke super wet?
He R&B sang to her. Oh, we got boots on the ground. Eric Serrato in the house.
Bot G.
Well, I love this. We got all the regs in the town. Hey, what up, Stephen White? It's good to see everyone in chat. Like we said, Bandwagon Boy 1 is not here. Bear with me. I've never done this before, and it's hot as fucking here. Like, I'm sweating. AJ's vaping to 10. We're having a good old time.
I bet you say that to all the boys.
I think my vape just ran out,
So-
but that's okay.
Back to these joint practices.
Yes.
I do like that we practice against them twice, like that we're practicing against the LA Chargers twice this week, and then we actually get to play them. So you kind of get a little insight to what they're trying to do already, and you kind of can target certain players, and it kind of brings another, how do I say it? Like another
Segue?
I don't know, just another level to the practices in the game. Like for a preseason game, no one's excited, but now these guys have some they have some history against each other. They've been practicing against each other all week, and I think it makes the preseason game a little bit more exciting for as far as exciting as a preseason game can be.
Well, let's say this: players on the average are definitely well more conditioned than they used to be. You know?
Fuck yeah.
However, the NFL is making it much more and more difficult for teams to go full out on practice. So they are going to try to find every single way that they can, and maybe half of that is doing these joint practices where you can circumvent the system a little bit, get some more contact out there. I don't know the fucking rules, but I'm sure there's we do know how stingy the NFL is on preseason practices.
Yeah, no one wants to see big players go down with big injuries.
Hell no.
Get that thing in you. Crack him if you got him, son. So we got Ultra Cowboy basically saying, I want to see Will Grier on Saturday. So we are going to touch into the preseason game, but I do like that point because we didn't get to see Will Grier on Saturday against the Broncos, and I would have really liked to see him with the exact same offensive starters or offensive players that Cooper Rush had, because then you'll actually get a good feeling of who can do what with possibly our starters, right? So if you can get the same quarterback playing with the same players, you have a very even way of finding it out. What's this? What highlight do you got going on here?
This is just a little quick out from Will Grier to, I'm not sure the running back. Oh,
That's Davis, I believe.
Yeah. Davis.
So Will Grier is practicing right now, so that means he has a pretty good chance of playing on Saturday against the Chargers.
I like that distance created there.
Davis has been a little beast. I think we might even go with 4 running backs, to be honest, because you have obviously Zeke and Pollard as our 1 and 2, but then you have Dwaddle and Davis kind of fighting for that 3rd spot. But maybe they end up just taking both of those guys, and then we run with 4 running backs.
Well, then who do you keep off the squad?
I don't know. So this is how it always ends up being.
Teams usually have the same.
Well,
right.
Certain teams, some teams will only keep 5 wide receivers. We'll probably keep 6. Some only keep X amount of linebackers. Some only keep X amount of running backs, right? So usually Cowboys are they usually keep 3 running backs, right? Some teams will keep 4. So this might be one of those weird years that you're like, these two players are too good. We don't want to cut them so that another team can get their hands on them. So I would personally
keep them on the squad.
Yeah,
for
keep them on
practicing and stuff.
Well, that's the issue though. If you put them on the practice squad, anyone can come in there and just snag those bitches up.
No, but you can keep them on your roster and have them around for practice just as a fail safe too. I mean, we do have the depth on running back, but I don't think that's like anything special. You know, like
running back,
it seems like all the NFL has
good
two running backs.
Yeah, like guys that are gonna be able to. Well, and how often in any given week do you see some guy that no one's ever heard of get a game and then they end up running for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then you never hear about them again?
You never do. I mean, shit. Imagine what that feeling would be like for you. Like it would be so like if you were just a dude who had like a 2 to 4
like
year...
Al Bundy. You'd be like Al Bundy, always talking about his 4 touchdown game in high school.
Yeah. So yeah, well, look, we definitely need to figure out backup QB scenario on any team. Like the worst thing that you can have. We need someone. The good news for Cowboys here, as I can do my roundabout answer, the good news for Cowboys here is the defense is strong enough that could take us to a playoff and win a playoff game. Playoffs, and win a playoff game if the playoffs.
There it is.
if our offense gets a little weak and we're kind of just able to score 14 to 21 points. You know, we have the defense on paper and in my mind that can keep even the highest scoring teams down. Will that actually translate?
I sure hope so. It's funny that you say that. This is one of the first years that I can remember in a long time that I'm more worried about the offense going into season than I am about the defense. It's usually like, okay, our offense is going to score 30 to 40 points a game. Can our defense stop 30 to 40 points a game?
Mm-hmm.
This year, it's like, I'm worried about our offensive line. I'm worried about our wide receiver depth. I'm worried if Dak gets hurt for X amount of games, if we have someone that can even come in and play it. There's a bunch of things I'm worried about on our offense. When I start thinking about our defense, I can't think as many issues. Like we have great depth at linebacker and defensive line. Our cornerback situation is a little bit shaky just because we don't really have much after our top 3 guys. But like I said, this is one of the first years going into the season that I'm kind of like, holy fuck, is our offense going to be able to match up with our defense?
And also, like, I think it's more important to have just a solid starting line than you really want to start caring about your depth. Depth is obviously super important because someone's going to get injured, but
it's bound to happen.
And again, like, who was Curse? I didn't know who he was previous to last year.
And that's the best part. I love that. I love when a guy like that shows up that no one knows about. And we have in the chat, Kilo saying, what about wide receiver Dennis Houston, undrafted guy? He might be something like that. And another guy that we have that no one fucking knew about until a couple weeks ago is Turpin, who had a great Cooper Rush rolls out here, airs it out. And this dude, he's little, but he's pretty quick. Like
this is the guy who
the USFL,
and he waved off the first 2 kicks or whatever.
Yep.
And he was visibly frustrated.
He was
with
pissed.
Himself.
So he's obviously got some wheels. He's listed at 5'9". Like he's small. Like he's not up against cornerbacks aren't big dudes, and he looks tiny compared to a cornerback here.
He looks very tiny. But here's what I want. I want a guy who's hungry. Who has a above average skill set, but he's not in an elite, and maybe doesn't have those big physical traits that people like, i.e., you know, the 6'6", 215-pound Vasher or whatever. Who's just, he doesn't need.
They're polar opposites.
Polar opposites, but isn't that great?
That's great. We need a little burner, right? Like we lost Burner after Turner, so we need Turpentine.
Turpentine.
That's what people have been calling him. I can't say I didn't make it up. Someone else did.
I love
But he's
it.
jacked up. I was reading an article. They had interviewed him. This was his first time he actually got a deep ball at practice, and he came down with it. And we got to give Cooper Rush a little bit of love here too. Like that's a nice rollout.
That's a great little pass.
That's a nice pass. So,
hey, any negatives coming out? Because like
yes, there is actually. So one of the big negatives coming out of the last 2 practices, we've had 0 running game. Our running game has not looked good.
Is that now? And they've been obviously we saw that they were running Zeke, so he's been out there.
They've just
haven't seen anything on TP20.
They just haven't been able to get anything going. And I did read, though, this was the good thing I did read. So I read that they have not been able to get the running game going, but we still won this, like, the practices.
Okay.
Which is good, right? So if we're it just makes me nervous. And it goes back to this offensive line that I'm really nervous about. I don't know if we have the offensive line to actually pound it down guys' throats. Oh, what are we talking about again for playoffs? But it makes me nervous. I'm always a big believer that you have to be able to run the football to win playoff games eventually. And I don't know at this point if we have that offensive line. And if we get one big injury to that offensive line, we're pretty much dicked.
Yeah.
Like if we lose a Zach Martin, a Tyron Smith, I mean, even a Terrence Steele or any of our 5 offensive line starters, if we lose any of those dudes, we're going to be in some trouble, like especially at tackle. If we lose any tackle, we don't have a swing tackle on the squad right now. That's good, and that's healthy.
And I'm just trying to find our age, because someone mentioned that we have one of the youngest teams, or said that we have the youngest team. I actually want to check that out.
So Ultra Cowboy actually brought up a good point. Our running game against the Broncos was good. The Smith brothers from left side will pound it. So you're not wrong. Against the Broncos, it was good. I'm just talking about this week with the joint practices against the Chargers. Reports were just saying that our running game couldn't get going. But you're right. Against the Broncos, we did have the running game did look pretty good. Another thing here we go. We got Eric Serrato. I read that Nate Newton said that Connor McGovern is playing better than Tyler Smith. If the season started tomorrow, McGovern would get the start.
Bring that up on the.
I don't know if I like that.
What's it saying? Okay. Nate Newton.
Yeah, he's just basically saying that McGovern, who was starting, he kind of was in and out of the lineup at left guard last year, has been outplaying our first round pick, Tyler Smith.
Now, I am okay. You were very vocal about our first round pick needing to start game 1. And
yeah,
I agree.
You have to.
I totally agree. Like that's the point of the first round pick. But I'm listening to an argument where it's like, if McGovern's better, then he needs to play.
100%.
And then if Tyler Smith is going to be our second tier backup for the entire line, maybe not center, because that's a pretty exclusive position, I'm interested. I can see that, because then at least he's coming in and filling a huge role, right? But you want him to start. You need to push him out there. You need to push. Just to throw back, because I was interested in this. Cowboys are the 5th youngest team in the NFL on average. Yeah.
Wow. That, I guess if you look at our defense, think of all the main stars, they're all pretty young dudes. They're all in their first contracts. The only old guys left are really you can call Dak and Zeke now old guys.
They are
in their 7th year. Like that's old in the NFL. And then I think the oldest guy on the team's probably Tyron Smith, and then an OG like Zach Martin. Like those guys are in their 10th plus seasons. Yeah, which is crazy to me.
What's DeMarcus?
D-Law. D-Law's got to be probably up there too. 9 or 10th season. Like he's definitely up there. That's funny, though, that we're still considered a young team.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that's probably some of the most, one of the most exciting prospects from the defense is how young we are. Like our defense looked pretty well in a lot of the games last year, and they're so young, like Micah Parsons, Trevon Diggs, Jordan Lewis is still pretty young. Like one of the old guys on defense, the 2 old guys on defense are Anthony Brown and DeMarcus Lawrence. And I don't even really consider them really that old, but it's definitely, that's a cool stat that we're the 5th youngest team in the league. DQ also has some versatility with that front 7 with Williams, D-Law, and Micah. That's true. And that's another great point. DQ is now in his 2nd year with these guys. So all the success they had last year should technically, you would think, should be amplified.
Well, I think at this point now, I can't remember what our answers were, but I would say that with all this in mind and not seeing preseason week 2 yet, I think Williams has the biggest chance of making an impact, which is great because we're really powering up the one side of the ball there with defense if that's the case.
Yep.
But I feel like he is the biggest. I think we said who we thought was going to make the biggest impact, and I chose wide receiver. Shit, who's our third round?
Tolbert.
Tolbert. I chose Tolbert, but
He had actually a shit game.
I know. When I look at this,
You should still be able to remember the first quarters, right, AJ? I know you were feeling pretty good by the end of the live stream.
Oh yeah.
we were all feeling pretty good. And if this is your first time in the chat, we will be live streaming the game on Saturday. We will be live streaming the Saturday game. It's always a good time. We will be cracking them. Bandwagon Boy 1 will make his return. He's not going to go 3 for 3. He will be back to man the Starship. What is the?
Well,
Death
it looks
Star?
like it. Go to our.
Let's get this view up here.
Go to our one angle. Look at that.
There's like 40 fucking screens and the lights bleeding or breathing on us. It's like a.
It's kind of really cool. You get a little behind the scenes action there.
So what are you excited? What are you excited about for this weekend's game? Like, what's something building off of, or what do you got here?
No. I'm gonna answer your question. That's just the old clip. I think it's exciting because it's the game that we're gonna see the most action out of our starters.
Yep.
And so it's gonna be, and then after this, week 3, I still think that there's gonna be some value in week 3, and it'll still be a fun watch, whether or not that actually happens or not. But this is basically the first kind of taste of what we're going to see with our offense.
The dress rehearsal.
Our dress rehearsal, exactly. Then we got to wait, I think, 2 or 3 weeks after, and then the season starts?
Yeah, September 11th.
September 11th. So, yeah, I mean...
We're close, though.
I'm excited. You know what this is more for? It's more for us. We need our dress rehearsal. I need to get back into the zone. I need to be able to get through 4 quarters of heavy drinking. But we did have a lot of fun last time. We had some super chats for the first time.
Super chats were pumping. Kilo first ever super chat. That was fucking awesome. And it was just good to have Cowboys football back on.
Hey, I see Kilo C saying TP20 got more wide receiver reps today.
That's great.
Yeah, because like you mentioned, what if we go down to just 5 wideouts, 4 running backs, but then treat TP20 as someone who can fill in
like
in
the
as
slot,
that 6th as necessary.
Well, we've pretty much talked about it all offseason, how we want to see TP20 as a wide receiver more. You keep Zeke on the field as a running back in pass protection or running the ball. You put TP20, who's more than capable of playing that like Wes Welker, Landry type position, like a smaller wide receiver who's shifty. Just imagine getting TP20 1-on-1 and just giving him like a 5-yard out.
Yeah.
And he has separation, and then he has the whole field to dance with.
With when he's on the field with CeeDee Lamb and Zeke
oh man.
Even Schultz, has the catching ability. He's not going to be out there blocking, but he's the threat that's necessary, and he can fill in that position very amicably or very high quality. So
the thing with TP20 is you just have to get that guy on the field as much as you can.
Yes. Yeah, well, it is a thing with running backs, and probably every football player, but running backs are definitely the ones who deal with like the largest high and lows in terms of football touches. Like 1 week, if you get 8 to 10 touches, they say sometimes it's hard to even get rolling until I've gotten 12, 15 touches. Yep. And you see that in games too, because the football game too, as the game progresses, it's a battle of, what's the word? Attrition.
Yep.
Where Zeke might be getting stopped, but it's his, let's say any running back, but I'm going to speak about our boys here. But Zeke might be getting stopped. He's getting to the line, he's getting stopped, or he's breaking for 2 yards after the first touch. He's not getting a lot of yardage in the first half. Yeah, but that adds up over the game, and then suddenly, boom,
wear and tear, baby.
Third and fourth quarter comes around, and he starts fucking just pounding.
Kilo, you're the fucking man.
Kilo, don't you dare spend all your weekend beer money on
that's your vape money, Kilo, but we love it. Now you're just funding AJ's vape addiction.
Get that zoom.
Appreciate it, Kilo. You're the GOAT, bro. You are the GOAT.
Get the zoom, Eth.
Oh, wait, 1 sec. Let me zoom you here.
That's the from shoot, what's the movie with
I don't know.
Jack Nicholson.
Psychopath. I was actually going to say psychopathic killer.
Yeah, no,
You played it well.
Jack Nicholson in anger management.
Oh,
where
yeah,
he's, like, at the
totally.
bar.
Yeah, definitely. Kilo, we love you, buddy.
Shut up,
Appreciate
brother.
it. Appreciate it. What I was going to say, yeah, what else do we got
We got a
going
little
on?
list
I will
here.
kind of, we brought up CD a little bit. He's been sitting out with a bit of a foot injury, and there's probably 3 guys on the team right now that I do not think could ever get hurt this year. One of them, obviously, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott 100% cannot get hurt if we want any chance this year to go anywhere. You can't have Zach Martin or Tyron Smith get hurt. And then finally, you cannot have CeeDee Lamb get hurt.
Yes.
If CeeDee Lamb gets hurt, we are in a whole world of trouble.
Absolutely.
No depth there. Or I guess I shouldn't say no depth.
There's
a lot
no
of
number one.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot until Gallup comes back. But there's just a lot of uncertainty if CD went down. You know what I mean?
That would be terrible. And I think it's just the caution. It's a cautionary tale.
This is
I don't
funny.
think
Oh, sorry, AJ.
Was there anything big that popped up? Was there anything big that like a play or something or was it just like
They said
cautious?
he had some ankle in his ankle was feeling a little sore, but they didn't have him in a walking boot, so that's a huge sign. Like if there any issue that they think might be something serious, walking boot. Like you get put in a walking boot. So it's really good. I think they're more so being like they realize that if CD goes down, they're in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of a precautionary thing than a serious thing. Like I'm sure if he needed to play a football game tomorrow, he could play a football game tomorrow.
Yeah. And you're going to see this type of thing. Like I'm keeping a close eye on the injury reports just every day, just looking in to see. And you see guys showing up there and they're like, oh, might not be ready for week 1. But we're so far away from week 1. They're very cautious in the offseason. Every injury, unless you see what happened and you're like, oh, shit. I think every injury is kind of like, it's all precautionary. They're just making sure that, oh, thank you, brother. They're just making sure that people are not fucking.
So while we're on the wide receiver depth,
Hurt.
there's one dude that has been making some noise in camp, and someone had brought it up in chat. I can't remember who, but it's been Dennis Houston, who probably had the play of the day today. So I'll set the scene for everyone. It was the last play of practice of the joint practice between the LA Chargers and the Dallas Cowboys. Let me get one of these in here real quick. Crack me if you got 'em, son. It was the last play of the day before the Cowboys and the Chargers wrapped their joint practices. And well, let's just see what happens here. Last play of the goddamn day.
Is this it?
I'm hoping so. Yeah, this is it. Look at that fucking ball. Boom.
Oh,
You gotta keep watching. The best part, watch Houston here. Runs up and fucking punts the ball. That's the best part of the whole clip. Look at Dak's jacked up. Like, we love to see that. The whole team's jacked up. This is the last play. CD's out there without pads on. Like, this is something you love to see. Look at this ball, though. Holy rainbow. That's like that's a good catch. And this Houston guy just keeps making plays. Like, I think he might beat out Tolbert for the third. The way Houston attacked the ball was awesome, says Ultra Cowboy. And that's what you need. You need a guy that's not scared to go in there and fucking just sell out for it. Like, look, you don't even see him in the shot. He kind of just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, he does come running up.
You don't
his body.
You don't even see him. And watch this punt again.
It's such a fucking middle school kick.
It's like such a bad kick. If you just saw him kicking the ball, you would not, like, without pads on and just like at a field, you'd be like, that guy's not athletic at all.
No, I know. It's like a guy who kicks the ball at a fair.
Right here. I need to watch it one more time. Here he goes. Look at the team running out, though. CD's running out there. You got J-Ron Curse. You got Trevon Diggs. Dak comes in with the shove. I love it. I love seeing shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we weren't and never probably actually strongly considering it at all, but there was that. I mean, anytime any player wants to play in the NFL again, they always throw the Cowboys in the ring. But there was that article or fucking tweet from Antonio Brown, basically.
Don't want him.
Look, and this is like, what I'm looking at here is, I mean, it's one fucking clip, but the team the team seems to be bonded.
They're bonded.
very well, and that's going to make everyone play to their top.
Shit, yeah, they're bonded. They're ready to go out, and I think everyone on the team, doesn't matter what position they are, doesn't matter if they're on the team or not on the team. I think everyone wants to go out and have a way better game than they did last week. I got to give a quick shout out to 21 Armando 21. Crack him if you got him, son.
Crack him if you got him, son.
The man, 21 Armando 21, TikTok legend.
So all of this is leading up to. Do you like that they do the joint practice against the team that they're going to be playing on the weekend? I think that's kind of fun.
I think it's better because that's what I mean. Like, by the time they play the game, they have a little bit of history. You know, like, it hasn't been as rough and tumble as most of these joint practices, but these guys are now have a little bit of history against each other.
Yeah, a little bit of history, and I think it also just kind of plays off of that same vibe of, like, you're practicing for a team 1 week, and then you play them on Sunday, and then you prepare for the team.
Preparation H and butthole because the weather.
Which I've had to use. It doesn't work.
It doesn't?
Okay. That didn't work for mine.
Well, you need to eat ice cubes and rest.
Yeah, and lots of beer. Stick a cold one between your cheeks.
Stick a cold one in the cheeks.
Anything from chat or?
Yeah, let's check out chat. Let's see what these little sucker fishes are doing in there.
Did Adbest?
Ad's gone. Bandwagon Boy 1's gone. What 21 Armando 21 is asking? What are the expectations for this Saturday?
This is a perfect transition.
Perfect segue.
Why don't you start on your thoughts, and I'll pull up our.
So my expectations, I just want it to be cleaner. Like, I don't want us to have. I'd be upset if we had more than 10 penalties.
Oh man, dude!
If we have more than 10 penalties, I'll be mad because we had 17 against the Broncos, and that was 17 accepted penalties.
Yeah, really.
So we actually had more penalties called on us. Sometimes it was 2 on a play, and sometimes the Broncos declined them. So it's like,
well, we had shoot, I gotta pull up his name. Our homie was going over. I just did this the perfect timing, didn't I? What the fuck is this? Carver, Bryson Carver.
Yep. Shout out to Bryson Carving It Up podcast.
Is that what it is? Awesome. But he had this little clip shared to us by All Even's Barry Grant Jr. And I saw this clip, and he was just talking about the difference between, like, a handful of NFL teams and what the Cowboys got. And he brought up a good point. It's like penalties are all about the discipline of the player, and like how much do you give to on? We could
play the clip.
Yeah,
Find that. Like, okay. I'll go back to this. Like, I'll talk about going in. You find the clip. Bryson would love for us to flash him up on here. Anyways, the guy's a legend. He was actually going to try to be on tonight, but I'll start talking about the game a little bit. For 21 Armando 21. I'm kind of excited to see. I want to see. There's 3 things. Let me get my facts straight here. 3 things I would like to see. Our kicking battle. I think our kicking battle is very important. We've struggled with kicking for a lot of years, and I think it's really important to get some sort of groove going into the season. Last week, our boy Hallelujah shanked one, and then we had 1 point after made. I'd like to see a couple field goal attempts at least to give me a little bit of, I don't know. I just to feel a little bit calmer about the position
because we haven't seen
shit. Our kicking game has been so bad for the last 3 years.
I say if we get in between the 50 and 60 yard line, our own 50 and 40,
let Maher kick it.
Just fucking kick. Let's just see what the kick looks like.
Maher's had 3 60+ yard field goals, so I'd like to see him maybe after his last stint with the Cowboys. Maybe he's finally figured it out. I was hoping Liram Halajalula. I can't even say his name. I was really hoping he was going to make the squad because he is a fellow Canadian. But that kick he missed. Crack him if you got him, son.
Yeah.
So
sealed his fate, hey?
So do you got the old clip here?
I got the clip here. So
shout out to Bryson Carving It Up podcast. Let's hear it here.
Make sure my volume's up.
Crank that, soldier boy.
Penalties. These well-coached teams had? Keep in mind, the Cowboys had 17. The Tennessee Titans had 5 penalties. Baltimore Ravens had 6 penalties. The San Francisco 49ers had 6 penalties. The Chiefs, Steelers, and Rams had 2.
Wow. Fuck.
If you combine Chiefs, Steelers, Rams, if you combine their penalties, that's still about a third of what the Dallas Cowboys committed by themselves.
Wow. That's pathetic, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else to say it. That's just undisciplined, pathetic. That's just bad.
It was actually, I think, how I added it up is I took the 2 teams who got 6 and then those 3 teams who got 6 combined, and they got 18 penalties together.
So everyone.
So like everyone basically that he mentioned had 18, and Cowboys had 17 accepted. So
Accepted.
I think I'm kind of a ostrich with my head in the sand right now. I don't want to look at that. I'm hoping that is not an actual issue, but it's consistent with last year. It was atrocious on this game last week. So what's the over under for us to show improvement? 10?
Nate Dogg called it last week. We said the over under for Cowboys penalties. He was calling it. Nate actually said they would have more than 12 penalties.
Really?
Which is actually like a pretty ballsy call out. Like, I was like, no. I was like, the over under is probably like 6.
Sure.
And they blew that out of the fucking
6
water.
thinking 10.
6 thinking I'm like, they'll probably get 10, but if Vegas was doing it, they're not going to put 12 because no one's going to bet it, right?
What were all the penalties?
Stupid shit. Tyler Smith had 2 holding penalties. Fowler had a unnecessary roughness. We had 2 roughing the passer. Like, just penalties that shouldn't happen. Like, a couple false starts, couple just shit that should be coached out. The fucked up thing about this is Mike McCarthy came out after and said having these penalties actually makes us a better team or will make us better in the future. And I just kind of thought that was a funny quote. And actually, Barry Grant Jr. from the All Even podcast had sent that to me. And my response to that was, that's the equivalent of telling someone with their learners or like that's practicing for their driver's license that getting a ticket will make them a better driver.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something that's penalizing you.
The only way that works is when it's like, hey, we don't know how to play this game. We're figuring it out. And every time we learn what the rules are, we get better. It's like, oh.
That's what the fucking playoff game where you had 14 penalties comes into play, you know? Like that's just such a... Instead, I would like Mike McCarthy to hold everyone accountable and be like, it's unacceptable. It's not going to happen again. And if it happens again, people are going to get benched. People are going to get cut. Not come out and say, oh, it made us better players.
Yeah. I mean, look, in one argument, a penalty is good if you save your quarterback from getting hit. The other argument is it's bad if you are getting a completed pass pulled back and then minus 10 yards.
Well, the 2 I can think of from last week's game, I believe it was Jordan Lewis, or no, sorry, I think it was Bossman Fat, who jumped offside when they were kicking the football.
Yeah.
They missed the kick, and then we get a penalty. They reset back up, and they kick it, and they get it.
You know what? I'm a little...
Shit like that drives me bonkers.
It's true. I'm a more accepting to not a lot if someone's jumping off a lot, but I'm more accepting to a jump or an offside, a neutral line infringement than I am an in-game hold or something. Because like holds happen absolutely. Maybe you can get away with 2 or 3 of those a year, right?
Yep.
Like being called on those because the fundamental, like it's probably, I don't know O-line all that well, but it's probably in the top 3 rules about how to avoid holding.
Yeah, and then the shitty thing with holding is it happens on every fucking play.
It does.
It's just basically the ref's discretion, you know?
It is. So you need to find that super fine line of like, I'm holding until that point and then I'm letting go.
Yeah, as soon as the guy moves that way,
yeah,
you got to let go.
Because if we slow down every play in the NFL, you could make number of penalty calls.
So I actually saw this stat that Coop Whitson brought up, and it's actually a mind-boggling stat. Zach Martin, in his fucking 10 years in the league, or whatever many years he's been in, has only ever had 6 holding calls.
Really?
Our first-round pick, Tyler Smith, had 2 last game. So, I mean, that puts it in perspective. I think we had a couple offensive linemen, Connor Williams being one last year, that probably had the amount Zach Martin had in a couple games. Zach Martin is just a beauty, and I'd still think he's probably our best player on the team.
I just want
The guy is just a beast. Look at that.
Well, yeah. What I like about him is, and you don't see this often, he's got the foot. Oh, I can actually zoom it in.
Oh, I'm fucking it up. Zoom in on that. You can see where his belly button is. Because I have that when I wear my white T-shirt into the pool.
Yeah.
And always doing this.
Always
doing this, pulling it off my boobies.
He's very athletic. He moves quickly. And you don't see the guy who has his size, his body size, and athletic, and is athletic. What you'll see often is like I'm a very big guy and I have maybe a little bit below average athleticism, but I'm big. I'm 6'5", 300 pounds, so I can sit here and play this position well enough to be in the NFL because of my physical stats. And obviously, all those guys are faster, stronger, quicker than me. So I'm not judging.
Is that a Kanye song?
Yeah, it is. But what Martin has is this athletic ability as well,
and smarts.
And the intelligence. Yeah, he's the fucking complete package.
He's
the whole package, baby.
Let's cheers to that. Cheers to Zach Martin. Big old 70, the big old hammock. He's only a 98 in Madden, though, so he's not that great. He should have been a 99. Fuck you. Actually, that's a good thing we can talk about before we jump into these.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Chargers. So the big thing, sorry, not Madden.
Oh, okay. I just said Madden 23 is coming out.
Madden
soon,
23 is coming out. Wish they would sponsor us.
Yeah, I know.
We're working
next year.
No, what I was gonna say was the top 100.
Oh shit!
The NFL top 100, who actually had a couple Cowboys crack the top 100, and there's always controversy, right?
Is that the NFL Network?
Yep, NFL Network. So I don't know how will this work. If I show their website, do we get copyright infringement or no?
No, website's fine.
Okay,
website's fine.
Let's get this up. So you start off with Kyle Jusiak, who is he is for a fullback, which is you don't see fullbacks on the list very often.
You don't see fullbacks on NFL teams very often.
It's kind of one of those positions that's dying off a little bit.
When I say fullback, who stands out in your mind the most?
Like forever?
I mean, I have one person in mind. I think he was more of a running back, but
you mean of all time?
Sure.
So just as Cowboys, I think of Daryl Moose Johnson.
Okay.
So he was basically the fullback for Emmitt Smith, blocked for Emmitt for years. They're great buddies. Like he's who I think. But then if besides Cowboys, I think about fullbacks, and I have two guys that I think about actually. I think about Mike Allstott.
That's who I was
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who the guy was just an absolute freight train. And then I kind of I also think about the Mike Allstott resurgent player who was Peyton Hillis. And Peyton Hillis didn't have a great career, but when he was first started running the ball, everyone was like, "Oh, we brought it back." So there's Moose, who's just a he looks like Mel Gibson. He looks like Mel Gibson.
Totally does, dude.
But yeah. So
anyways, the top 100.
Yeah, top 100 here. Fullback cracks it at 100.
Yeah, and I guess when you find the fullback position and essentially they're a third running back, I guess is what you're really putting him on your team as. But shit, Allstott showed you that position. I don't know what the differences are between a fullback and a running back. Basically.
Fullback doesn't really get the ball.
But Allstott did.
Allstott got the ball. Fullback's basically just a lead blocker running out in an I formation. And you can, because you run out of that formation not as often as they used to in the 80s, 90s, 70s, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll use like a Connor McGovern, or they'll put in a tight end. They have enough players that can kind of match a fullback in those packages. So that's why you're kind of seeing
what you need.
Yeah, for what you need. Yeah. That's why you're seeing it dying. So the Cowboys' first player.
I'm just going to go through Kirk Cousins, David Montgomery, 97, Leonard Williams, who I like. I've always liked Williams.
Leonard.
What is it?
Leonard.
Yeah, Yeah, you know me. I'm hooked on phonics.
Yeah, you definitely sound everything out,
Yeah.
which is
Jamie E. Ward.
Jamie.
Jamie Ward. There he is. CD.
CD at
What?
95.
And he wasn't on the list last year, it looks like.
Was not on the list last year. What do you think about this? In chat, what do you guys think? We got Cooped Winston saying they had CD below OBJ, which is kind of crazy. 95, I don't think it's that bad of a spot for him.
Here's what I think about CD coming in. He had a great last year. Remember, this is his third NFL season. Like, sure, he's our big boy, and we look at him like that, but he's really only had one NFL season where last year.
Yeah, last year he was kind of starting to, and as Cowboys fans, we love to say CD Lamb's a beast. He should be higher than 95. But with, like you said, his stats from last year, he had 1,100 yards, under 100 catches, and under 10 touchdowns. Like, I think 95 puts him in a spot that it's still showing him respect. Like, 95.
It's giving him the respect of the number one wide receiver position.
Top 100 out of the whole fucking league.
Yeah.
Like, that 95, I still think is nothing to scoff at. And I think he could be top 20 next year.
Yeah, it all depends on what he does. He has all the opportunity in the world. And I think he's got the physical stats. The only thing that concerns me about CD is potentially his demeanor. Is he too soft, kind?
Lackadaisy? Is that a word?
Yeah. And you don't know. Maybe he might be one of the fucking most angriest dudes. Like, is he able to play with some
grit,
and fire when he needs to? And I think I have no reason to see not, except for I've just like in interviews and stuff, he's really mild. I know Micah Parsons can. His attitude, his personality, like I know that he would be able to switch it on and say, and be the guy who's like, fuck you.
I'll kill you.
I'll kill you.
On the field, I'll kill you.
Yeah. Like, even though he's laughing and having fun, like he might have his own words for it, but I know he's able to switch to that position.
And I love when offensive players have that. And CD, I think, is more of a finesse kind of guy. He's got some moves. He's got some good run after catch. Or yards after catch. Mm-hmm. But I think you're right. He's not a mean guy.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen that mean stuff.
Roy McCallan in the chat. Hey, Roy. Hey, fellas, looking good tonight. I'm funny, too. You know Roy's coming in with the funny. Love it, Roy. Appreciate it. Luis Herrera. I know I'm butchering your last name. There you go. Thank you, AJ. CD is fast but too small. And then Cooped Whitson he's flashy, which isn't a bad thing.
Okay, so CD is fast.
Does flashy mean like he goes to a street corner in a trench coat
flashy,
and just flashies?
Yeah, and you know what? People do like that. you can start making your name around the Texas, Dallas area,
the Metroplex.
Yeah.
So, but CD is flashy. He definitely is flashy. He's got that catch against Minnesota in his rookie year was fucking awesome. His catch against the Patriots to win the game in overtime, like he's definitely flashy.
Yeah, flashy though. Is that just because he's going up there and making a play? I mean,
like finesse, flashy.
Yeah, but sometimes plays are flashy. I don't see CD going out of his way to do like fucking Bitcoin deals and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like
he's not a diva.
He ain't a diva. So I'm fine with that. If he is flashy, I'm fine with it because it's not affecting his like. He's not bigger than who he thinks he is, which actually, you know what? This kind of maybe is the benefit of his personality where he's going to play hard. I guess my concern with CD Lamb is who's going to punch the guy in the head when someone gets rough with him. Yeah. Do we have that guy on the team?
No.
Does football, like hockey has those enforcers?
Yeah.
Does football have those enforcers? Like, or is it just kind of a general team?
Football kind of, it used to.
Yeah,
in like the 70s and even the 80s.
You don't have you can't afford the spot anymore.
You're not worried about someone just ear-holing you, right? Like you're not worried about one guy on the field who's a mean motherfucker that's just gonna take your head off, right?
Yeah.
Like illegally, which hockey kind of has, right?
Yeah. Well, you can. The difference between hockey is me and you can square up legally and fight,
but it's not legal because it's a penalty.
It is a penalty, right. But still, like,
but that's kind of what it meant.
We're not getting kicked out of the game after,
right.
Whereas if you
throw a punch in the NFL, you're gone, which is fair.
This is the question you got to ask yourself: if CeeDee Lamb, Zeke Elliott, Dak Prescott get fucking someone
ear holes him,
knocks him down from behind, who on that offense is going to be the first one that's
Not
running
Schultz.
Up? No, fuck no. Schultz is going to go like this. Ref.
It's definitely not Schultz. Maybe eventually Tyler Smith. He seems like he has a little dog on him. On defense, I think Ridgeway, maybe.
Oh, yeah. But I think
the Vanilla Gorilla. I think we got a couple on defense.
We got a couple on defense you can get.
D-Law Curse, I think, would be right up in there.
I mean, Boss Man Fat, we know who he rolls with.
We know he might get you shot up in the parking lot after. Rest in peace. That's not a funny joke, but
but it's the truth.
It's the truth. But here, let's keep scrolling down and see who our next Cowboys player on this NFL Top 100 is, because we did have a couple crack them if you got him on the list.
Wow, Tucker.
A kicker. Must be fucking nice to have a kicker,
dude,
making the top 100 on your team.
I'm gonna reiterate the point I think I made on our last live stream. But kickers, no, not beautiful, have so much impact on a game.
Yep.
Probably are the like most secluded person on the team too, like or the biggest opportunity.
The punter doesn't even want to talk to them.
Yeah, well, the punter I guess is number one, but the kicker is
long snapper is another one.
If you can get anywhere from 6 to 12 points from a kicker in a game,
oh yeah,
that's a huge difference maker. Just go back and look at the
and let's say
games.
Let's say 6 to 12 points, but more importantly, over 90%.
Yes,
field goals made. Because then it doesn't matter whenever he's in the position to make it, he's making 90%. You're basically you're like Dan Bailey in his prime. That was the last great Cowboy kicker, Dan Bailey. And then he kind of fell off. Von Miller
had a chance at Von Miller.
Cowboys had a chance at him.
Cowboys have a chance at every single.
Here we go.
Oh, there he is.
A member of the 2010s All-Decade team.
Really?
That's impressive.
Wow. It's Tyron Smith for anyone who's just listening out there. Number 92, ranked the 92nd best NFL player or top NFL player.
The thing I like about this list is it's voted on by the actual players.
Really?
So it's like legit. And this is the good thing. Like I've been paying attention to this to see what cornerbacks are on. And I'm going to do a little spoiler right now. Mm-hmm. Trevon Diggs hasn't been called out yet on this, but there's a few cornerbacks that have been that everyone thinks are better than him. And it's kind of like a nice arguing point to put into your pocket. It's like the guys that play against the dude think he's this number. That's if Diggs makes it in the top 50. They went from 100 to 51.
Okay.
No Trevon Diggs yet.
It would be... Is he going to be on the top 50? That's a very exclusive...
How do you leave him out, though?
You can't.
How is he not... Like, if he isn't on it, I don't even know. Like, I would be very surprised if Trevon Diggs isn't on the top 100.
Me and you have the same feelings about Trevon Diggs that I don't give a shit that he gave up 1,000 yards. We've looked into that too, and it's really not
It's a fucking stupid stat.
It's nothing so extremely... He's not so far off everyone else that those 11...
matter.
Like, you got to put some weight on how much is an interception worth, and then how many yards is that worth.
Well, and that's why, and 2 touchdowns he had. That's why I think he's going to still be in this top 50 when it comes out, because players realize how hard it is to do what he did. It hadn't been done in 40 years. But anyways, I just wanted to bring that up. Back to Tyron Smith.
Yep.
All decades team. Guys, in his 11th career year, he's been to 8 Pro Bowls. He was number 18 in the 2017 rankings. The only thing that's holding him back from being in the top 20 again is injuries.
Yeah.
If he's not as, and I don't want to call him injury prone, the guy's been in the NFL for 11 years. You're going to get dinged up. If he was healthier for more games last year, I think he's higher up, or they're even thinking about the year before where he's hurt. Because you're going into this season thinking, okay, Tyron Smith's probably going to miss X amount of games. But I like to see that he's on the list.
Yeah, but he hasn't had that full season since 2015, so that's
the problem.
That is a concern. But is he missing 1 game or is he missing 5 games?
Exactly. It's hard to say.
I guess that's as far as down as on this list that we need.
Kyle
to really
Pitts. What do you mean?
Oh, do you want to go through the whole list?
No, we don't have to.
Is there any other Cowboys?
I believe Zach Martin was on it. I think he was 68, and I think that was the last Cowboy on it. So Zach Martin was at 68, which I think Zach Martin should be way higher than 68.
Let me see. Oh, I'm going to hop here.
Yeah.
There you go. Shit, Ant.
I seen
fucking Ant's beautiful mind just
I seen this funny comment on the Reddit thread when someone had posted that he was 68, and someone's like, he's either one spot too low or 50 spots too high. So meaning he should have either been number 69 or been like in the top 20.
Yeah.
Because he should be in the top 20. The guy's an absolute monster. Zach Martin is a mainstay on the top 100 list. This is his 6th consecutive appearance.
Wow.
Thanks to a return to full strength after a calf injury robbed him of his 6 games in 2020, the 8-year veteran recently logged his 7th campaign as a Pro Bowl and 5th as a member of the AP All-Pro team. Those accolades are expected at this point for a potential Hall of Famer. That's not potential. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's one All-Pro season away from trying another legendary Cowboys guard, Larry Allen. Wow.
Here's a question.
Impressive.
Who gets into the Cowboys Ring of Honor first? Zach Martin or
Jimmy Johnson?
Jimmy Johnson.
Oh fuck! Probably Zach Martin.
Definitely.
The way Jerry's handling that Ring of Honor, probably Zach Martin. To be honest. So should we jump into a little bit?
Yeah.
Jump into a little bit Chargers Cowboys preseason matchup here.
Let's do it. I have the game right here. There it is. So we're going to Inglewood, California. We're gonna
Is this at SoFi? Yeah, it's at
I
SoFi,
believe we're gonna have boots on the ground. Bot G Eric going to SoFi Stadium. Obviously, if he, we'll figure it out. We're doing it live. We're gonna have Adam in here as well. So, but anyways, the point being, we're gonna have some potential live updates from the game
Hell
for
yeah.
us during the live stream. So
Boots on the ground. Eric's going to send us some good content.
and it looks like, I don't think it matters. It's a dome, but it's a nice 71 degrees. So, wow, 71,500 person capacity.
And that's probably just the lowest amount that it'll hold. I bet you if they do standing room, it's probably jacks up.
Yeah. I'm sure that they fucking lie about those numbers too, so they can squeeze more people
So
in.
looking at this doesn't really tell much. Maybe go over a little bit to the NFL news on it, or does that have to do with the Chargers Cowboys at all?
That's
no, that's just
your
NFL
news. Oh, hey.
Golden State Warriors. But so this is
Nothing
kind of
much
like,
here.
well, because go full injury report. Let's check that out. Let's see who's going to be on the injury report. I wonder if they're going to hold CD out.
Oh, it's just
So just go down to the Cowboys here. Cowboys injury report right there. Wow. So, you got a couple. You only got one out, which is our I think he was our 4th round pick, Matt Walatsko. But you got CD Lamb on there, Jordan Lewis, Noah Brown. They're questionable. They'll probably be held out. You got Will Greer, Tyron Smith. And this is back to, this is really shitty. This is really shitty for a guy like Will Greer, who was making a case to possibly be number QB2.
Well, do you think that this is just they are just putting people on the list here?
I don't know. It's tough. But if you're questionable and you're a main player like Tyron Smith or CeeDee Lamb, it's like, why even play them? You know what I mean? But if you're questionable and you're a Will Greer who's trying to make the team at a very important position, it's like, dude, if it's me, if it's not life-threatening, I'm just telling, well, I guess they have doctors to actually decide if he can go, but I'd want to be out there playing if I was Will Greer.
Yeah, well, if I'm Will Greer, I want to be out there so I can secure my spot. Absolutely,
Make an NFL team, right?
Yeah,
and those are the important reps, especially the games. Like those are the reps. And when you see a guy like Cooper Rush, kind of, shit in the bed per se, like this could be your one NFL chance to become a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. I'd be chapped if I was hurt, man. Kind of feel bad for the guy.
I think we definitely want to see Will Greer out there in a game, and this would be. Week 2 would be the perfect week for him to come in, settle in, maybe after Dak is done.
How long do you play Dak?
I give him at least one. What are they called? One
series.
One series. If that one goes quickly or smoothly or things are feeling good, I might give him another series after that, and then I shut him down.
I think if he comes out and he go if say they are playing Dak, who knows? They might not even. It'd be very stupid to me if they didn't. I think they should play him at least a couple series. But I think if Dak goes out there and he marches down the field and they look good and they score on the first drive, maybe you do take him out. But if he goes out there and has a couple bad passes, they look out of sync. You got to at least give him another second or third. You can't go in there.
True.
You can't go into the week one without any game situation.
I'm either looking for me personally as Coach Coach Johnson, highly respected coach for the Chilliwack Football League. I want players to look like they're ready to play, and if like how they perform is not necessarily as important as just seeing, like, for a guy like Dak, who I've seen years of. I know he's an NFL
what you're
player.
getting from Dak.
I just want to make sure that he's like, he might have had a rough game, but if I see him throwing well and shit, okay, let's get him off the field. I don't want to the thing that you cannot have happen, and you can't fucking actually like guess which play it's going to be, but you cannot have Dak being injured from a preseason game. You can't have Zeke being injured from a preseason game.
You can't have any of the main stars.
No.
A Micah, even like Micah getting injured, D-Log getting injured. Neville Gallimore, I think I think it was week 1 actually, got hurt last year. But it's just it's such a kick in the balls if one of your main guys that's a mainstay on the team, like a Dak, a Micah, any of the guys we just named.
Yeah.
If those guys get hurt in a meaningless game where you know what you get from those guys.
Yeah.
It's such a fine line, right? But you still, like you said, you still need them to get out there and get a little bit of, I want to see Zeke get tackled.
Well, because if you don't, then the argument's going to be, oh, you started them week 1 and they came in and
they're soft
and then they get injured. So
there
are some injuries out there that are just waiting to happen. Like I don't have anyone in mind because I'm not a fucking doctor scientist, but there are injuries that are just like, it's going to happen week 1 or week 4. It's just a matter of time. And then there's injuries that's like, oh shit, that guy rolled up on you, or what happened to poor Saquon Barkley in that game we were watching after Adam called him out.
That's the main reason why we do our fantasy draft after all these preseason games, because otherwise you draft a guy. Oh yeah, get that in you, kid. Crack him if you got him. Son.
Can I say the one injury that I'm not happy to see on this list, or that I think could be an issue here for the rest of the season, is Jabril Cox.
Oh, yeah.
I think that the other ones I'm seeing are like whatever, like James Washington. I think they're just holding him out.
Well, James Washington's out for 6 to 10 weeks.
Yes, yeah, obviously.
But Jabril, same with Cox. I think they're just holding him out because he's kind of. He probably won't play in the game because he's still coming back off of that knee injury from last year, right?
Really? Okay.
So it's not a new aggravated, like it says, Cox suffered a minor knee injury in practice.
Okay.
So it is new.
Well, I don't know. It's all funky wording because he might have gone out there. We're like, I'm having my knees sore.
Yeah.
Let me just go out and try for half an hour. No, it's still sore. And then they update the list, and now it seems
fine.
like it's a new list. But it is coming off of like rehabilitation process. It's part of the rehabilitation.
Well,
I mean, what we need to do is we need to get into that locker room.
We do. We could sneak in. You have an AT&T stadium hat.
I do. I could.
You're like, this is SoFi, dude.
But the newest ones, like you mentioned, Jordan Lewis, CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown. I mean, there's some other injury reserve guy, but I don't think any of them are very big names.
Notable.
But those three,
those are some big dogs. And 2 to one of the least depth position we have, wide receiver. So I'm going to ask you here, going into this game on Saturday, what are 3 things that you would like to see? I kind of touched a little bit on it earlier, but what are 3 things as a fan of this team that you would like to see going in against the LA Chargers?
I'd like to see more clarity out of our kind of 3rd, 4th, 5th wide receivers. I'd like to see one of them, whether it be fucking Turpentine or Turner. No, not Turner. Shit. Houston or Vasher or
Even Tolbert.
Tolbert. One of those 3, I'd like to see one of them step up and have a standout game. That would be nice and calming. The other thing I want to see is, of course, less penalties.
Yep.
And I want to see it in a way where it's like, oh, they didn't just get less penalties and now they're getting more sacks. We need to see that protection continue. Because what's the point if the only way that you can play the NFL is by committing penalties, then you're not
Then you're a bitch.
then you're an AJ Johnson.
Then you're. That was only 2.
Oh, number 3. Shit. I mean, it would. Yeah, kicking. We gotta
special teams.
We gotta have some. But this returning whatever we have a few weapons that can return a ball. TP20 is probably our I don't want him to.
Well, that's the whole point of having that Turpin guy.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it so that CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard don't have to.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have to. Like those guys, like we talked about, if either of those guys gets hurt,
well,
we are in trouble.
And those are the most probable plays for a person to get hurt is I believe the special teams.
Let's hear in chat. What are you guys looking forward to? AJ just said his 3. What in chat are you guys looking to see this week against the LA Chargers? I got a couple. I would like to see something from our starters, just because it makes me feel like we're getting so damn close to NFL football. Like, I want to see a Micah Parsons out there. I want to see him rushing the quarterback. I want to see Dak slinging it to CeeDee Lamb. I want to see some of these starters, and I want to see these starters do well. AJ, I'm not going to say the penalties because you said the penalties, but I'll go with something else. As I mentioned a bit, I want to see this Turpin cat. I want to see Turpin, and I want to see him return the ball. He had a couple mental lapses. He fair caught 2 returnable balls. I think one was on a punt and one was on a kickoff. I want to see what this guy can do in some open space. And number 3, I want to see Cooper Rush or Will Grier or Ben DiNucci kind of go out of the pack and claim that number 2 spot. Because in the NFL, your quarterback 2 is just as important as your QB1.
Yeah. Well, I think what we basically just laid out is there are still a lot of questions, not even some of it's backup, but some of it's the starting lineup too. I don't think that's a regular for this time of the season anyways.
No, most of the stuff you're looking forward at this point of the year, at this point of the season, preseason, you're watching, you want to see your depth positions play out, right? Like you want to make sure your quarterback 2 is good. You want to make sure your tackles, like your swing tackles playing well. You want to make sure your kicker looks good. Like there's stuff that obviously there's probably names that we might not even mention again in the season.
Yeah.
That we're interested in seeing. Like Will Grier, he might not take a snap ever in the regular season, but it's still important to shore that position up.
Yeah, we got to see the action. And also I do want to see the main offense come out. If I can do a little 4th star here.
Yeah, you want to see the starters.
A hashtag or asterisk star.
Who are you most excited to see? What starter?
Because I haven't seen anything this off season. I want to see TP20 just get the ball and do some fucking fun stuff.
Bust out, but does that make it a running back controversy if TP20 gets it and runs for fucking a 60-yard TD?
It's absolutely going to be people online, but I think from what I've seen, Zeke is all for looking at the backfield as a tandem. Like there was I don't know if the interview was today, but there was an article I saw about an interview that he had today, and he was talking more along the lines of like rather than I'm the starter and he's the backup, and he was talking about the backfield, which I love to see, even though we know that Zeke's the fucking
lead dog.
The lead dog. But the way that he talks about it is like makes me excited to see like the potential, because if you had to satisfy, if Zeke was the type of guy and you had to satisfy his ego and then like not run certain plays for that reason, which I would hope no team would ever do, but of course it does happen. It's just nice to see that he's like talking about that backfield as a tandem and not just I'm the starter, he's the backup.
Whoa,
I'm number 1.
Did you see this?
2. What's that?
And off script, did you guys see the vids I sent where LVE and Zach Martin sent a shout out to Cowboys CanFan?
What?
AJ's on it. You look at him. You got him. Let's get a zoom in on AJ. He's going full. That's him. That's how he looks when he's Googling. Eric Serrato, boots on the ground. Well, AJ's looking for that. Eric also made a good point. He wants to see his main man, Isaac Alacron, earn a spot on the team. I know AJ's a big Alacron fan, and I feel like if Alacron makes the team, you'd be getting a jersey.
Alacron. Yeah, Alacron kind of reminds me a little bit of on Andre the Giant vibe.
Yep.
But yeah, he's from Mexico.
Mexico, yep.
My second home. Voluntarily.
AJ spends a lot of time in Mexico for anyone that's listening and wondering.
But
why
only in the tourist parts. I ain't going too crazy. No, that would be cool. I think that he is on the team as the all NFL teams have an international option. It doesn't actually take up a roster spot, I don't believe.
Yep.
And so he's on that cusp of actually being an NFL 55-man roster, but he's just not quite there. But they do want to keep bringing him back.
Yep.
Because he's a big boy.
Would those videos be in the Facebook Messenger?
Yeah. And
is that what you're in right there? I can't see. My eyes are terrible.
Wait, where did he send it?
Eric, where'd you send those? Is it in the Facebook Messenger? That's my guess. He probably sent new ones.
I'm in the Facebook Messenger. I don't see it.
Oh, maybe it's ones you sent before. The Drive. Oh, he put it on the Drive.
Oh, right.
Okay, so let's zoom into AJ again going at... he's going for it. He's going to find it.
Hey, look, we made this special drive, and we...
For our boy, Eric Serrato, boots on the ground. Eric, are you going to be at the game on Saturday? Hey, crack him if you got him, son.
Crack him if you got him. If you're out there and you are looking to crack him yourself, oh, shit.
Eric's going to be at the game on Saturday. Fucking epic. I'm so jealous. That's probably the best preseason game to be at. Preseason week 2, the dress rehearsal. It's your most likely chance. And if you don't mind me asking, what does a preseason game at SoFi cost? And did you get it secondary market or did you buy the tickets? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, here we go. Let me. Oh,
I don't know if this is a shout out to CanFan or not, but
whoops.
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
We love you, man.
Here, well, let me get. You got to give me a sec here.
I know. I'm
you muted me.
Oh, did I mute you?
There I am.
There. Okay. Sorry, dude.
Okay, 1 second here.
I could still hear you. I think it was just.
Okay, there we go.
All right, here we go.
LVE, can we get a shout out to all your fans on CanFan? There it is.
There he is.
We love you, man.
Hey, you know what? I've talked a lot of smack about LVE. He just won my heart right there. He just won my damn heart right there.
Oh, there's
Hey,
Zaki.
Zach, let me get a shout out to all your fans on CanFan Podcast. There it is. We love you, man.
He said it. He said it. He knew what it was, and he was a little embarrassed that he's a subscriber, and that's okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey,
you're the GOAT. You're the GOAT,
Eric. Dude, thanks so much. I totally forgot that we shared that folder with you.
So
but there's lots of stuff in there.
AJ gets stoned.
I do think.
Actually, I forgot about it too. I could have been looking at this too. Okay, so that's where we're going with. That's awesome.
Hey, that's so cool. It's so awesome to see that NFL players are responding to Cowboys CanFan. They're wanting to subscribe. They're wanting to get involved. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple super subs from, or what are they called? Super chats.
Super subs. That makes me want to get Subway on the drive home. Can I get one of your super subs? Sir, you invented that in your brain. There's no such thing. So we've talked about a little bit the Chargers, the LA Chargers, the Dallas Cowboys game. We'll be live streaming it again on Saturday, so stop by if you're here.
Yo.
Is there anything else we want to talk about, look at?
No, I think we can wrap this one up.
I think we can wrap it up. We had a great time talking to everyone. Eric Serrato bought direct for $70 for the ticket. That's sick. I would do that in a heartbeat. Like if the Cowboys would have been playing in Seattle, we would have been going.
Hell yeah,
100%.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to happen one year. We'll see.
Oh yeah, the year that Romo hurt his back and was out forever was at Seattle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was out of town working. I was actually at a bar. Not a bar, a pub, having dinner, watching it, and I was just like, "Oh, we're so fucked." And then Dacky Boy just came in and killed it. That's some cowboy folklore right there.
That is.
So for I can't even say the bandwagon boy. Oh, hey Lindsay Bessie, hey from California. Hey Linz, how's it going?
What's up?
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, LY.
But for the bandwagon boy and your host Anth Bess. I think we're out until Saturday, guys. And hit that shit, Soldier Boy. I hate that. I thought we were making a song.
We are.